Hello, welcome to our very first tarot reading on YouTube. So today we are just going to call on our ancestors, our spirit guidance, as well as source, the primordial energy of everything, of creation and all. And we are going to ask where you are and what is blocking you from continuing your upward swing. And so we always are going through things that we struggle through, right? Because that's what growth is. You wouldn't get growth without the struggle. So we are all going through some kind of existential crisis at any time, but that crisis is actually not a crisis, but rather a classroom that teaches us how to become the best version of ourselves that we can be. So we are all, not only are we students, but we are also teachers, and how we move about our days and the things that we are experiencing is how we show others who we are underneath it all. So if you've made it here, then this message is for you. Maybe you've been seeing 444 or 777, as well as owls. I've been seeing owls everywhere. So what does the person who is right here in front of me need to know at this time? I'm gonna pull a couple more cards. Ooh. So you definitely are coursing through some like new waters. It could be a little choppy. It don't look super bad. Seems like you got through some pretty crazy stuff. Okay. Page of Cups talks about a new adventure. You're on a new adventure, Peter Pan. You are trying to find what finds you, but also pursuing happiness and what that means to you personally. This is all about you and what makes you happy and joyful. You're following your nose, okay? This is like the horse with the carrot. Universe is putting in front of you something that you really want or something that you would like to achieve. The universe is saying, Uncle Cracker, follow me and everything is so right. So you're being told to follow the clues, follow your nose. It's like Blue's Clues over here. There's a paw print on the things that it is that you want, okay? Maybe you have a dog. Maybe you're a dog person. We have my dog in the background, so if you hear any crazy noise, that is my pup, okay? So you are a helper. You are one of those people who help others. It brings you joy to help. To maybe even to distract yourself from your own existential crises. Maybe you like to focus on other people because, like I said, it brings you joy. And when you don't feel very joyful, you rather help. So you're going through some newness, but I want you to know that your ancestors, your guides, there are energies that are working with you at this time to help you to speak up for yourself. There is a essence of you speaking up and speaking into existence who you are and what you want for your life. It doesn't matter your age. It doesn't matter your race. It doesn't matter your culture. It doesn't matter where you are right now. All that matters is that you're hearing what's being spoken to you. You are shining brightly. Shine bright like a diamond. You kind of have a glow about you, boo. And people see it. Those who are around you, those who work with you, or those who you just come around, they see this. It's like you're this majestic light. Maybe you don't see it that way, but you are. You bring joy to those who are around you. You bring a essence of airiness, lightness. This is talking about healing. So you've been working on healing yourself. You've been working on bringing into your existence a better version, a more grown version of who you are. You've evolved. You no longer are that young baby deer walking around with your little brand new knobby knees, unsure of which way to go. You follow what you hear. You allow yourself to be led by the unknown, and you trust it. You go towards these new, exciting expansions of yourself, these new exciting beginnings. Again, a page. This is Page of Swords. And Page of Swords is about your mental. It's about how you speak your mental into existence. So maybe you used to not speak it very well. Maybe you used to speak it kind of negatively. Maybe you didn't really know how to bring into existence a positive expression, but you're learning that. You're learning how to become better than who you were. And it's not that it's bad, it's that you didn't quite have that understanding because maybe people around you did not show you that. Maybe there was no examples of what that looked like. Maybe your role models had foul mouths, or maybe your role models were angry, or maybe your role models then themselves weren't able to heal or chose not to heal. So the people that you had around you in the beginnings of your lives, or even maybe, not that far distant, were not the most positive, but you knew that that's not the way that you wanted to follow. So you were turning your head at negativity. And you are learning that sometimes it's better to turn the other cheek than to try to defend yourself with the sword on the ground. We don't have to always defend ourselves. We don't have to defend our happiness. We don't have to defend who we became. We just be. We just sit in who we are. And if others find that uncomfortable, then we just turn the other way, okay? You have gone through stuff. We've talked about this. You've gone through some pretty serious breakings and shakings, bendings, and spaces where you felt confined and trapped and shattered and broken. There's a lot of heartbrokenness in this. A lot of past energy of like loss. You've lost a lot, but you still kept a level of who you were from the ground, from who you were as a child. There's still 2 cups up, and in those cups are little lightning bugs, okay? So you bring light into your spaces with how you treat people. Cups is all about emotions and compassion and caring and love and mercy. So even through your death and rebirths with this death moth here, you are so compassionate and loving and caring. You do not do things to hurt people. Following our nose again. So something about your nose. I don't know, but there's something about your nose. Okay? There's something about following that essence. I keep saying essence. Essence. What is an essence? An essence is like, if we were to be bottled up like a perfume, what would your essence be? What would that smell like? Maybe you're a smeller. I don't know. This is so weird reading. Maybe you have a very deep sense of smelling. Maybe it's like a spidey sense. You can smell trouble out before it happens. You can kind of tell when something don't smell right. When they say, can you smell what the rock is cooking? You can smell when negative energies are cooking. You can smell when the positive energies are cooking. And you go towards that, okay? With King of Cups, Page of Cups to King of Cups, you are becoming royalty by your own rights, okay? Maybe this isn't family inherited, but rather progression inherited, spirit inherited. You yourself are choosing to crown yourself a more refined version of who you are, okay? And you're allowed that. You're allowed that change. You're allowed to become who it is you would like to become. You can always grow and change and evolve. And can't nobody tell you anything about that just because they only see who you were in the rear view. Okay? You're allowed this. You have mastered a level of your emotions, a level of your hearts. You have opened your heart to things that maybe you weren't open to before. So I want to ask Source what it is that you are calling towards yourself. Because you're calling something in. I saw 3 of Wands. You're calling something in. What is it that you're calling in? What is it that you're calling in? Beauty, beauty. Oh, geez. All right, hold on, pause. Hopefully I can stitch this together. If not, this is part 2. I don't know how YouTube works, so hopefully I can stitch these 2 together. I did have to pause. We dropped some cards. Okay, so the first card that came out was Four of Pentacles. You used to have to really feel like you had to hoard what you had. Maybe you went through a lot of scarcity, a lot of like they're low income, okay, or not having enough, or not feeling like you had enough, and feeling like you had to hold on to what you had. And sometimes when we hold on so tight, it's almost like we lose it quicker, right? Or when we lose it with some rope burn, okay? It leaves us with a sense of hurt feelings, or a level of discomfort, okay? So you've held on to things for a very long time. Maybe you just really didn't feel like you were gonna ever have enough. But guess what? That's gonna turn around for you. With 9 of Pentacles, you no longer are in this little foxhole of trying to hold together your abundance, you know, trying to keep it like together. You've allowed yourself to follow that little white rabbit into a new space for yourself, a bigger space. You become bigger. Your energy is bigger, and you feel safer in your energy that you have now, as you should. You've done a lot of work, and this is showing your determination with the salmon. You've gone against the current. You've gone against maybe societal view. You've gone against what the norm is. And because of that, you're going to be resting, hibernating, and receiving without having to really do a whole lot of work. It's not that you are lazy, because this bear before hibernation did a lot of work, right? They had to gather, they had to go and hunt and make sure that they had enough before hibernation. So you had to search for those resources. You had to get and scramble and do what you needed to do to really feel safe and comfortable to be able to hibernate. You're coming into a mode where you can relax a little bit. And you're also coming into a place where you can work with other people. I don't know if deers are important to you, deers. I know it's deer, but we say deers here. Oh, deers, okay? Something about antlers. I don't really know the symbolism behind antlers, but if you do, or if you don't, go ahead and look it up. The star is in between the antlers, and then we have 3 of Pentacles in between the antlers. There are wolves around you, okay, because you are building something beautiful, but you are also building something with other people, a community or friends or family. These are people who have your back. These are people who will fight for you, and there may be a little bit of danger lurking in the background, but that doesn't matter because you've done a lot of work. You don't have to be so strong. You don't have to fear the predators, because when you rise, there are always going to be eyes who watch you and want you to fail, but that's okay. That's, your haters make you know that you're doing something right. People will not hate on you just to hate on you. People will hate on you because of a projection that they are feeling. They feel like they have to hate on somebody else because they can't focus inward. So when we have these people who want to try to like come at us for who we are, it's usually because we've leveled up and they feel a sense of discomfort with who we become, or they feel like they are now in competition with us. There's no competition. The only competition there is with yourself, and to become better than the person you were the day before, or the year before, or 5 years before. Every day we are growing and learning and becoming a new version of ourselves, and you are becoming so comfortable with who you are that other people are now comfortable with who you are, and you are calling in those that are in that same mindset. You are bringing in a level of like camaraderie, a little army. You have manifested so much for yourself in this time. In this time, you have become this king or queen of your mental, of your heart. You have brought in so much to yourself that has manifested this new great pride in yourself. With that lion, there's so much strength. You could be an air sign or a fire sign, But there's something about the level of intelligence and the level of pride, and it doesn't get in the way with the ego. There's no ego behind this, okay? There's no like thinking you're better than anybody. There's none of that. This is knowing that you've worked hard to become who you are, and in this point, in this space, this time, you are bringing and manifesting to you perfect happiness. Happiness is coming towards you. This is his 10 of Cups. 10 of Cups means this is like all the things that you wanted, the circle of life. You've done the death and the rebirth. You've died many times. And now because of all the deaths that you've had, all of these things that you've expressed and had in your life, you're bringing in happiness. Look at that star. There it is, that star that you became. And it's like a rainbow of emotional, like, it's a bridge. You've bridged some kind of gap, and you have brought in so many other people who are different, diverse, but also who want the same kind of thing that you want. You've created this family that is so different, but also the same. You're a very powerful person, and that's being shown to you. So, you know, we always have things that hold us up. So we're going to ask what's blocking you from continuing. Just in case there's anything that could be blocking you from your growth, it's good to know so that we can actively work on those things, right? We always want to be working on ourselves. We always want to see what it is we can do to become a better version of ourselves. So what is it that you need to do to become a better version of who you are? What does this person need to work on? Anything else? One more. Okay. Sometimes you can be a little demanding on yourself. Sometimes you can demand yourself. You set in these impossible tasks out for yourself, and then when you feel like you fail them, you feel bad about yourself. Don't do that. And when you do this, you it's almost like maybe you're like a self-proclaimed quitter. You've quit a lot of things, and that's okay to quit things that don't feel right for you. But it's not okay to quit when things just feel like it's too much. That doesn't mean that we give up because we become, discouraged. It's okay to be discouraged. It means you gotta dig your heels in and push harder. You're missing some opportunities because of your past trauma. Don't allow your trauma to get in the way of becoming better. Sometimes, even when we feel like we've grown past certain people and spaces and environments and things that we've gone through, sometimes we are brought back to those things to see how we change that narrative. And so you could be being called back to some old spaces. And I know sometimes that can get confusing because we're like, well, I moved past that. I don't have that energy anymore. Well, sometimes we have to go back in those spaces and change it up. Maybe we get called back into those spaces to show them a different version of who we are, a different version of our mindset, a different version of just example of how growth and healing can bring in a whole new thought process and a whole new mercy of oneself and mercy of others. So you are growing, you are learning such powerful things at this time, and I'm very proud of you. So thank you for tuning in. If you feel like you connected to this reading, please comment and let me know.